negotiations.
Chris Mason. Cambodian Prime Minister Hun Sen has called for the shutting down of the country's main human rights group. The Cambodian Centre for Human Rights was founded by a former opposition leader who's now in jail. It is the latest step taken by the long-time Prime Minister to tighten his grip on power. Let's give you a closer look at some of the most recent events here. In September this year, Kum Sukha, leader of the main opposition party, was detained on charges of treason. Also in September, the Cambodia Daily was shut down. The newspaper published a front page with the headline, "Descent into Outright Dictatorship." Finally, on November 16th, the Supreme Court dissolved the main opposition party, the Cambodian National Rescue Party, meaning that in practical terms, Prime Minister Hun Sen runs unopposed at next year's elections. Well, U Virak is a Cambodian human rights activist who used to run the NGO that is now being targeted and has since founded the think tank Future Forum. And he joins me now live from Phnom Penh. Could you tell us something more about the Cambodian Centre for Human Rights, what it says and does?
The Cambodian Centre for Human Rights, as you mentioned earlier, that was actually founded in 2002 by a former politician. He was running the organizations for 5 years. He left the organization and go back into politics. Later become the opposition leader of the country, who's now been in jail. I took over the organization in 2007, right after his time. Most of the work of the Cambodian Center for Human Rights is focused mainly on political and civil rights. We focus on free speech, free media. Importantly, we also support the active participations of the Cambodian people. Particularly, I think to us, one of the most important elements of human rights, the universalities of human rights, is to encourage the Cambodian people themselves to decide on the directions of the country. And I think that's probably one of many reasons, but probably one of the more important reasons why the organization could be targeted today.
So, Virak, what do you think the possible closure of this group says about the way Cambodia is going?
Well, it would be a very, very sad precedent. One, I think the Cambodian Center for Human Rights has always been and continue to be a very principled organization, speaking on the universalities of human rights for all Cambodian people. Is actually one of the very rare organizations that has been very, very critical of both the ruling party as well as the opposition. We have always been very, very principled. I'm still very, very proud of my time at the center. And I think the potential closure of the center would send chills across the civil society's actors and organizations. And I think the chilling effect of that would be significant. And I think that space would, the space for discussions on human rights as well as democracies would shrink tremendously, particularly when an important organization that has always been standing tall, but also more importantly, has always been very impartial and principled in defending the rights of many of the people. I think that would be a huge blow for the country, and as well as for many of the younger people who's now starting to take part in discussing many of these very sensitive issues that matters to them as well. And so,
Vera,
I think
I'm afraid we have to leave it there, but thank you very much.